good to go. All right, so
Oh,
quick little preamble just before Erica gets into it. So Erica is one of our AOE master coaches. She's coaching people in our Diamond program, and they're doing really, really well. Her own Amazon business is also doing very, very well, and she also organizes the AOE meetups along with Lucia. Lucia, is that, have I pronounced that correctly, Erica?
just Lucy.
Lucy, okay, Lucy.
Yep.
Along with Lucy in WA in Perth as well. So this is Erica's hack, and it's a bloody genius way of doing it. I don't want to give it away. I'll let Erica go through it, but it is super, super clever. And kudos to you for coming up with this, Erica. It's really, really smart. All right. With that being said, I'm going to let Erica get on with it. Over to you, love.
Okay, so what's my ebook solution? Basically, I had a product on Amazon Australia, and I'm going to go show you what it actually means to have a hijacker. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to present. Okay, so Amazon have a catalogue of products, and some people sell the same thing on Amazon, which Amazon don't want to be like eBay and have a whole lot of products that are exactly the same and multiple listings. So what they encourage is for us to, if we're selling, say, Blackmore's vitamins, it encourages there is one listing, and then there's several other sellers who are also selling, say, Blackmore's vitamins on Amazon. It's just a better seller experience. So that's fine if you're wholesaling a product, but if you are private labeling your product in China, you've sourced your manufacturer, you put your logos on, and it might be, I'm going to do knife sharpeners as an example for tonight. I don't know who's selling these on Amazon Australia, but I just picked that as a subject. So say I found a nice knife sharpener and I put my logo on it, sent it to Amazon Australia, but somebody else either in China or in Australia has decided that they want to sell the same sort of knife sharpener. And particularly Chinese sellers will go to the same outlet and pick a knife sharpener and actually just piggyback on your listing. So the problem with it is that you don't know when somebody is buying off your listing that's not your product. That feedback also shows on your feedback for the product. Obviously, seller feedback shows somewhere else. So, but other sellers are benefiting from your well-written listing and the investment that you've taken in Neil's training. So here's an example of a hijacked Australian listing. So this is the Amazon choice for knife sharpeners. If we did a search on this knife sharpeners, this is number one. It also says that there's 3 other sellers that sell this. So this has got a private label brand on it, but you can see down the bottom, it's got 3 new from $19.97. So normally you would see on the right-hand side where Neil's cursor is that you could buy that, and that you would be winning the buy box if it was sold by, say, uleave.au. But there's 2 other people who are also selling this. It looks like maybe a Chinese seller at Life Today is saying that they're selling Toe Plus knife sharpener. Could be, but it might not be. If you just put a lot of work into your listing and put that logo on, you don't want people selling an inferior knife sharpener when it's and having that feedback turn up. So that's what a hijacking or a piggyback listing is. Neil, if you could just go into knife sharpener search just on Amazon.au.
Knife sharpener search, just search for it.
Yeah. I'll just show the first couple of listings.
Knife sharpener.
And so my hack is that basically we're going to add an ebook to our listing, and I'll explain why in a minute. And this search is quite good to show what I mean. So there's the top one that we've just been into, 3 new offers. The next one has a knife sharpening ebook bonus. And then if you go down to the 5th one, it's exactly the same knife sharpener as Toe Plus, but it's been sold for about $8 for about the 4th or 5th one down. There's a bit of a delay in Neil's screen, so I'm not sure if there it is there, for $8.99. So the top one is a private label one. Who's to know whether that one is the same quality, but it is competing with that top one. The second listing is protecting their product by putting an ebook there, and I'll explain why now. So you can go back to the slides, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the problem was I had 4 different sellers on my private label product. It was my first real product that I did not put a logo on. It wouldn't have mattered if I put a logo on at all, and since I've actually done some different bundling and things, but it was my main product that I'd launched with. And I haven't received my trademark yet from IP Australia. So if you go to the next slide, please, Neil. So trademark means that you've got exclusive rights to license and sell the mark, and there's a link there to go and get them. You've got to pick a category to sell in. You apply through IP Australia. It costs about $170, but the problem is it takes sometimes 6 to 10 months, and sometimes you might not even be accepted by IP Australia. And meanwhile, you don't wait for that while you're selling. You put your listing up anyway. So you go to the next one, Neil. So if you have a trademark, you can go to Amazon's brand registry, and it's Amazon's way of protecting your brand. But if you haven't got a trademark in Australia, then or any other country, you wouldn't be able to do this. You'd have to wait. So when I had those 4 people on my listing, I said, well, that's not my product. There's lots of different standards of that from all sorts of different factories. But Amazon wouldn't help me because they said that I did not have a trademark. And so I was worried about my feedback and seller experience, etc. So next slide, please, Neil. So then I had to sort of think laterally about it. I had a light bulb moment one day. So it's my UPC, it's my EAN code, it's my listing, and I can't be sure. So that is it the same product that I get from my Chinese supplier? I don't know. So the next point was the difference between copyright and trademark. So trademark is on a physical product, and it gives intellectual property protection. And copyright is geared towards books, videos, and artistic works. So trademark is a lot harder to get, whereas copyright, you can put just all rights reserved on any written piece of work you created. You don't need to register that copyright anywhere. It's automatic, and it's basically Amazon will act on copyright infringements as well as trademark infringements. You've got to kind of get your head around the difference between those two. Copyright, written, trademark, physical product generally, or a logo, that sort of thing. Go to the next one, Neil, please. So what do? You've got a product, you want to figure out what to do and make an ebook. So there's different rights that you can buy. You could write one yourself. Like if you had a knife sharpener, you could write your own guide on how to use the knife to make all sorts of designs and vegetables or something like that. So, but there are places that you can buy quite cheap private label rights. So PLR is content that gives you the rights to edit, change, or modify however you want. You don't have to spend weeks and weeks writing your own ebook. So master rights are different to PLR rights. Make sure that you're buying PLR rights. There's an explanation there in that link you can go to later. But there's lots of places you can buy it. You can get one for $1, you can get one for 25, or you could get somebody on Upwork to write one for you. So there's some links there. So the next step is to add that to your listing. And what I do is I send out my ebook. I have it in my title. There are some guidelines I've seen recently that Amazon have not liked people who put free ebook. So you could say bonus ebook or including ebook. Don't make a big issue about it being free, because I have seen that made an issue of. So you could make it up in Kibli or any of the other automated email software that links in with Amazon. Or if you've got at a level where you're not selling that much yet, you can actually manually send it through your Seller Central account. Just go to the Manage Audit page and click on basically send it through the email system. Oh, so I can't see my slides, Neil.
Should be able to see that.
No, oh, there it is. Okay, great. So then the next one is I had someone basically a couple of weeks ago. I had 3 more sellers on my listing, and this is something that you have to do from time to time is check and then follow the procedure. What if you have got someone hijacking or piggybacking your listing, go through this procedure over and over again. Unfortunately, that's just something you have to do. So what was worse was that they won the buy box because they were undercutting my price a lot. I'm not in launch phase. I'm in profit phase. I've got my keywords sorted on, top of the searches in most of my keywords. So this was devastating to my sales. I could see that obviously Amazon thought it was going to be a better chance of someone buying that cheaper product than mine. So I really was, I had kind of not had an eye on it as much as I should have. So within about 3 hours from the time that I filled out the form, they had been completely kicked off my listing, and the sense of frustration when you've done all this work and then someone's profiting off your position and your photos that you've invested in is just something that I don't like. So I was really annoyed with it. So I'd like to say that this is a hack. We are dependent on Amazon and the decisions that they make. I'm not saying that this will work forever, but it's worked for me 4 times in total now. So the first thing to do is send a cease and desist letter. Click on the seller's name and send them a question, and the cease and desist letter is in the Facebook files of Neil's. I got completely ignored the first time, and I generally don't get an answer from them. They completely ignore me. So then the next step is to go to the next slide and fill out the copyright infringement form. So there's a link there. So it's either on .com or .au. Make sure that you're signed in and really spend a lot of time making sure they're asking for links to your copyright work. So I had or attach it, and then make sure that you're telling them which seller, if it's happened before, the previous case infringements that you've put in, and put as much detail as you can because they will bounce it back if you haven't got all of that information. So there's trademark drop-down boxes. There's also a trademark, also a copyright trademark, drop-down box. So be specific in what you're actually complaining about. For this one, you always go with the copyright field. So the next one was basically I'd been ignored by this initial seller, and they actually, after the second complaint that I made about him, they actually wiped him off the whole Amazon store. And I know that there's been a lot of AOEs who had the same person hijacking your listing. I haven't seen them. So I think this has been, for them, the second time they did it meant that they were completely off the platform. So the next slide is basically me saying, well, I can't withdraw my complaint. It's already been done. I gave you ample warning, and tough luck, basically.
Exactly.
So, and so yeah. When this happened again this week, and I got another 3 removed off my listing, and I won the buy box back, it really is worth going through this process, because you just don't know how many sales you're losing to these other people. They might be going for for a lower price. They don't mind the higher delivery times from China. But for the integrity of your brand and your product and your feedback, then this is, I think, a really good way of controlling that. So if you need any help with this, I'm happy to sit down and work out a strategy to get them off your listing. I'll also look at the content of your listing and give you tips to increase your sales. So as Neil said, I'm one of Neil's coaches, so there's a link there if you need extra help. So any questions, Neil?
The only one so far, great presentation by the way, Erica. That is a absolutely genius strategy, and it's so simple but utterly effective. you probably, like me, guys, are in lots and lots of different Facebook groups. There's folks all the time saying, oh, my listing's been hijacked, my listing's been hacked. And I see it all the time. And this is just such an elegant solution. It's just beautiful. And I do it with all my stuff now. I just think Erica's just a bloody genius for coming up with this. So, question from Tony. Hey, Neil, will those slides be available in the Epic Group document section? I can definitely do that for you. No worries at all. Let's just download them as PDF files. And then what we'll do, so there is a file. So this is the file in here that Erica was referring to. That is the sample cease and desist letter. That's one that Christos, my pit bull of a lawyer, wrote. And so that's the sample cease and desist letter. And here is the files. I'll upload this for you. So we've got all of this. And I'll make that available for you. And that'll be all in there for you. So this is Erica's ebook hijack hack. Try saying that after you had a few beers. There you go. So that will be up in the files for you right now. So if you want it, there it is. This files area has got some great information in it, so please do go check that out for sure. Erica, loads and loads of awesome feedback coming back from that. Thank you so much for taking the time to go through all that. I'm just going to mute.
No problem. Sorry about my techo issues.
Oh, that's all right, love. These things happen. No dramas. All right. Lots and lots of great. Sandra, can you copyright a listing? Well, you've already got some listing copyright, but that's not sufficient. That's not sufficient. It's not sufficient. You need to do that extra step. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.